A few hours later, I was stirred awake by a voice calling my name. "Hey, Agnes, wake up." It was my husband. "Well, come home." "What are you doing?" "What? What are these appetizers?" "My parents are here, and you bought this cheap stuff." "I told you to do it right today, didn't I?" "Yeah, that's what your father." "No, get up and start cooking." "I'll throw this stuff away." "Hey, my name is Agnes. I'm a 28-year-old office worker. I had a boyfriend named Thomas. I met him at a blind date, and he made a fierce approach to me. He was kind and funny, and I was immediately attracted to him. Then a year after we started dating, he proposed to me. The answer, of course, was yes. I was so happy that I was going to marry the man I loved so much. My parents also liked him and congratulated us on our marriage. His parents were also very nice people, and I knew we would have a very happy married life. After that, the wedding and the honeymoon went well, and we started our new life. I was very happy and enjoying my new life with my husband. Then I got pregnant. On top of being happy, another wonderful event, and I felt the greatest happiness in my life. My husband was also very happy about the baby. "I'm going to work harder," he said. However, I think my husband had the wrong idea about working. Even though I was suffering from morning sickness, he was working a lot of overtime to increase his income. I was so worried about having a baby for the first time, and I wanted him to come home early if he could. It was not easy for me to tell this to my husband, who was working hard for me and the baby. Then, when the 6th month had passed and I entered a stable period in my pregnancy, I decided to take both paid and maternity leave to take a break from my work. But I guess that had the opposite effect for my husband. He seemed to think I was bored at home and didn't do any housework anymore. When we first got married, we were both working, so we shared the household chores. Also, when I got pregnant, he took the initiative to do the housework because he was concerned about my health. But when he started working more overtime, he helped with the housework less and less, and I had to do it all by myself. I was feeling quite stressed out, and one day I had a run-in with my husband. He didn't work overtime and came home early that day. "Oh, welcome back. You're home early today." "Yeah. By the way, what's for dinner?" "I'm sorry, I'm not feeling well, so I was lying down earlier. I was going to start cooking now." "Oh, I was able to come home early today, and how come there isn't any food?" "What? You're staying at home, so you should do better." I'm trying my best to do things right. Besides, the reason I'm taking time off work is because I'm pregnant and not feeling well. You should at least understand that. Are you saying it's my fault? Don't blame me for your own inadequacies. I didn't say it like that. I'm just saying that we are a couple and we need to support each other. What I want from you right now is not to work as hard as you do. I want you to be here for me, help me with the housework as much as possible. In short, you want to slack off. Why is that? Because you are going to be home all the time and depend on me to do the housework. It's nothing but just slacking off. Oh, that's enough. I'm going to have the baby back home. What do you mean? I'm saying I'm going home to my parents for a while. I'm not coming back here until the baby is born. When I say that, my husband said, "Oh, really? Do whatever you want," and he stormed out of the house. I felt sad and wondered why it went so wrong. I cried alone in the house. I wondered if I would be happy to give birth in this situation. After that, I went back to my parents' house and took it easy with their support. It seemed that I had been under a lot of stress. After resting at my parents' house, my physical condition improved considerably. Then, about 2 months after I started living at my parents' house, my husband and in-laws suddenly came to visit. I hadn't had any contact with my husband since I went back to my hometown, so I was puzzled by the fact that they came out of the room. Apparently, they wanted to apologize to me. It seems that my in-laws had come to the house where my husband and I lived because they were worried about my health. They were surprised to see that I was gone. Now, when they asked my husband what was going on there, he told them that I had gone back to my hometown after a fight. They grabbed my husband by the neck and came to my parents' house. "Rico, I'm really sorry about our stupid son. We gave him a big lecture. He doesn't understand how hard and painful pregnancy is. Come on, apologize to him, Agnes." "I'm sorry," my husband bowed his head, saying, "It's okay. I'm sorry I got emotional too, and we were able to reconcile. My in-laws are really nice people. I don't know what would have happened if they hadn't come in to mediate this time." And then the baby was born, a healthy baby girl. My husband was very happy about the birth of our daughter. I took her back to the house where I lived with my husband. After my eternity lit was over, I took a child cat sleep and devoted myself to raising my baby. But taking care of the baby was harder than I had expected. My daughter cried a lot at night. Because of this, I could hardly sleep at night. I woke up in the morning exhausted, made lunch for my husband, and did housework. One day, I reached my limit. I fell asleep with my daughter while I was putting her to bed. It was already nighttime, and my husband woke me up. Sorry, I knew that was in trouble. I hadn't prepared anything for dinner. "He might get angry at me like he did before," my husband said, giving me an annoying look but not getting mad. "Next Saturday, my parents are coming to celebrate the birth of the baby, so you better be on top of things then," he added. I remembered that my mother-in-law had contacted me just before. "It's already coming up next week," I said, concentrating on taking care of my baby. The day of the celebration came in the blink of an eye. "Well, I have to go to work in the morning, okay? Make sure to prepare the sand meal for my parents, okay?" my husband reminded me. "Yes, I will," I replied, hoping my husband wouldn't get angry anymore. He still seemed to underestimate the difficulties of taking care of a baby. After he left for work, my daughter had just fallen asleep, and I was ready to start cooking. Then suddenly, the doorbell rang. "Who in the world is it at this time?" I answered, and to my surprise, it was my parents-in-law. "What happened? You were supposed to come over this afternoon, won't you?" I asked, puzzled. "I'm so sorry for coming all of a sudden. I was just thinking that you must be trying very hard to make a feast. Look, I brought appetizers so we can all eat together," my father-in-law said, holding up the appetizers. "Oh, he picked them out and brought them for you?" "Oh, really, thank you," I responded gratefully. That's when my daughter started crying. "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry we woke her up, Agnes." "Is she crying a lot tonight?" my mother-in-law asked with concern. "How do you know?" I inquired. "Thomas cried a lot too, so I thought she might be like that too," my father-in-law explained. "Then, Agnes, you haven't slept much, have you? I'll take care of her, you can get some rest in the meantime." "Get some good rest. I'll go and buy the booze and other drinks. Let me know if you need anything else," he offered kindly. "Thank you for everything, Mother and Father," I expressed my gratitude. So I decided to listen to them and get some rest. I lay down on the couch and slept. A few hours later, I heard someone waking me up. "Hey Agnes, wake up," it was my husband's voice. "Welcome home. What are you doing? What are these appetizers? My parents are here, and you bought this cheap appetizers. I told you to behave today, he scolded. Oh, that's your father. Now get up and start cooking, I will throw this stuff away, he continued, about to throw the appetizers away, but I tried to stop him. There's no way I can serve this to my mom and dad. So these were. I trailed off, trying to explain. I was about to explain when I heard a loud voice behind me. Hey, what are you doing? It was my father-in-law's voice, apparently, he just got home. My mother-in-law, who went for a walk with my daughter, was also with him. Hi Dad, I greeted him. Listen to me. I told her you were coming today, but she slept in and didn't even cook, and she tried to cover it up by buying these cheap appetizers. I'm going to throw this away, so just wait a little longer, I have Agnes cook something up, my husband tried to explain. Your father bought those, I interjected, but he froze. What did you say? My father-in-law's voice turned stern. That's the appetizers your father picked out and brought for us. I've been trying to tell you this. Oh no, my husband's face instantly turned pale. My father-in-law came closer to my husband with a very scary look on his face. I'm sorry I picked cheap appetizers, my husband stammered. No, it's just, He tried to explain, but my father-in-law interrupted. What the hell is your problem? You don't care about Agnes at all. I thought you changed your mind at that sculpture the other day before the baby was born. You haven't changed, that's all, my father-in-law expressed his disappointment. I'm sorry, my husband apologized, but then we heard a message notification on my husband's phone, which was on the dining table. My mother-in-law, who was closest to the phone, saw the screen. Thomas, who is this Willow? She asked, concerned. Oh no, you forgot your cigarettes and lighter. Next time you come back, make sure you take them with you, my husband replied, trying to divert the topic. What is this woman, Willow? My father-in-law demanded to know. My husband seemed to realize he couldn't get away with it and confessed to the affair. You've got to be kidding me, my father-in-law exploded. My husband got down on his knees and apologized to me in tears. It was just a case of the devil getting the better of me, he tried to excuse himself, but I couldn't trust him anymore. I can't do this anymore. Please, let's divorce, I requested. Oh no, my father-in-law said. Of course, you should get the divorce. I'm sorry for all the trouble my stupid son has caused you, he apologized. I'll make him do whatever you want about the divorce. With that, my parents-in-law took my husband out of the house and went back to their house. Later, my parents-in-law came to my house with the divorce papers. They told me that they made my husband tell them about the affair. The adulterer was a junior employee of the same company, and to my dismay, they had been having an affair since I was pregnant. He was not working overtime but meeting secretly. I filed for a lamanier against my husband and the adulterer, and child support for my husband. Since my in-laws were with him, my husband could reject and agree to my demands, so we got divorced. My ex-husband was told by his parents that they will keep his root and Godzilla. My ex-husband is forced to live a life of daily surveillance, going back and forth between work and home. Also, my ex-husband paid alimony directly to me, but my in-laws paid me a large sum of child support money, which was a considerable amount. My ex-husband will have to pay back to his parents little by little, while in-laws also manage my ex-husband's salary and give him an allowance every month. It's a very inconvenient life, but it's all his fault. On the other hand, I returned to my parents' house, and with the help of my parents, I went back to work. My daughter has grown up so well, and she makes me happy with her cute smile every day. I will continue to work hard for her and take good care of her.